Hey everyone, this is Tim from YourSixGaming. Today in this video, I'm going to be showing you the best weapon class setup for the MP7 in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, coming up next in this Call of Duty video. If this is your first time watching a YourSixGaming video, make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of Call of Duty, Xbox, and PlayStation 4 help videos on my channel. So let's talk about the MP7. It is easily a top 5 gun in Call of Duty at the moment. Some guns I would rank higher than this weapon would be the M4A1 and the MP5. Now there are some situations where the MP7 will actually be better than the MP5, and that will be medium range. However, up close the MP5 does take the grail over the MP7. But what would still classify the MP7 to have the title of top 5 guns in Call of Duty? When it comes to medium range shots with this SMG, it's actually surprisingly effective. It has a super high fire rate, also it has a 40 round magazine. So if you're someone who's going to be running and gunning in Call of Duty, you're going to have a large magazine capacity for multi-kills. And also you're going to have a quicker time to kill at range than the MP5. And also the hipfire accuracy on this gun I would classify as good or above average, even when comparing it against other SMGs. And I've been using stopping power with my field upgrades with this weapon, and with the fastest fire rate in the SMG category, this gun absolutely shreds when you have stopping power on it. It makes getting those multi-kills like slicing through butter. And here are the base stats for the MP7. As you can see, the control mobility and the fire rate are really high for this weapon. This weapon has very low recoil, so your opportunities to get really accurate shot are going to be very high. And with the proper attachment, your range, accuracy, and damage all skyrocket. Now, I do boast this gun's range. However, after medium range, right around short to medium range, this weapon has a really large drop off. If you see someone like 100, 200 feet away, it's gonna take 15, 20 shots just to kill that person. Now, that's just a quick estimate in my head from my experience playing, but I have killed people standing on top of skyscrapers in ground war, shooting down at them, and it takes about 3 to 4 controlled bursts to shoot that person down. And that's with hitting just about every shot. And if you just got this game and you want to use the MP7, tough luck, because you will unlock this weapon at level 54. But as soon as you unlock the armory, you can actually do a mission to unlock the Piercer, which is an MP7 blueprint. So to unlock the Piercer, go to your barracks and then go to missions and challenges and scroll up to the top to boot camp, which is the first one. And this is very easy to do. There's only 5 steps. The first step, complete 1 public match. The second one, get 5 public match kills. The third one, call in a kill streak. The fourth one, get 3 kills using lethal equipment. And the fifth and final one, win a public match. This is very simple, and you can unlock the MP7 very quickly when you're starting out. So let's go ahead and look at my class setup with the MP7 right now and see what I'm currently playing with. Here's my weapon class for the MP7 in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. For my perk 1, I have EOD on. This is a must to reduce damage from claymores or proximity mines when you're running through hallways. This is a must have on EOD for sure. And then perk 2, I have Ghost, just to reduce the amount of times I'm spotted. And then perk 3, I got Tracker on. Now I may actually rotate to maybe like Tune Up in the future. However, I've actually been enjoying Tracker right now when I'm running and gunning. Helps me spot the enemy's location and find people quicker so I can go ahead and engage them. Then for my lethal, I have Proximity Mine. I love Proximity Mines because they're quick to deploy and I can just throw them out. And then for my tactical, I have Smoke Grenade on. I've been actually enjoying the Smoke Grenade because it allows me to advance through tightly controlled corridors in wide open areas where the enemy has a line of sight on me. And it's quite effective actually. I was surprised switching over from like a flash grenade or a stun grenade. The smoke grenade actually is effective. The only problem is you don't have a long time before it goes away. So you gotta advance really quickly when you throw your grenade out. For my secondary, I'm just rocking the RPG. Just in case I come across tanks in ground war. I'd probably have the Desert Eagle on in a more competitive setting. But it's nice to have something where I can just whip out my RPG, and I know someone's camping in a location, and I can just shoot through the doorway and kill them. So let's get to my MP7 right now. I'm level 50 in it currently. And for my muzzle, I do have the compensator on. This is for recoil control. Now, the recoil on the MP7 really isn't that bad by itself. However, the MP7 is actually quite decent at medium range, so any kind of recoil control is definitely beneficial on this weapon, just because of the effective range. Then for my barrel, I have the FSS Recon. It's a 10.5 inch barrel that increases muzzle velocity, extends range, and adds a moderate weight increase for smoother recoil. As damage rate, bullet velocity, recoil control. So I have recoil control once again on for my barrel. And then to my optic, I really like the GI Mini Reflex on my SMGs. Just provides an excellent sight picture. And it adds a little bit of accuracy to my weapon also. If I want to aim down sights a little bit quicker, I might actually use this Fronin LP945 Mini Reflex. Otherwise, the Viper Reflex sight. Now, sometimes I'll actually run this weapon setup without an optic, just because the iron sights on this gun are actually really good. So I'll utilize stock, and I'll go with the FFS close quarter stock. Provides me more aim down sight speed and a little bit better control on my weapon. So it's really preference on those two right there, between the optic and the stock. And then for my rear grip, I have the stippled grip tape. And this is going to provide you a little bit better aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed, which is absolutely necessary when you're running and gunning. You got to get the gun up first before everyone with their 725s when they're trying to fire from the hip, and people running around with the M4A1. And speaking of firing from the hip, for my underbarrel, I do have on Merc foregrip, because it does provide you hip fire accuracy, and I do use this gun quite a bit from the hip. And it's quite effective from the hip, actually. And then it also has recoil control. So you start firing from the hip and transition into an aim down sights and line up your shots right on the person's head. Now it'll be interesting to see how the updates in the future will affect the MP7, seeing how this gun has a very low recoil and super high rate of fire. I'm thinking in the future we will see a reduction in the damage rate of this weapon, because right now it's just insane, it seems like, playing with it. And I'm thinking we may see a slight increase to the bullet damage, just to make it more comparable with the MP5. Now, I really haven't talked too much about field upgrades with this weapon, except for mentioning stopping power before, which this weapon performs extremely well with. So I'll typically have on dead silence and then stopping power, and then when I go to ground war, I'll actually turn off dead silence and I'll put it on my tactical insertion. Just so I can secure my own spawn location, I don't have to run back to a certain point. So far with my experience with the MP7, playing for about 10 hours with it, this is one of my favorite guns in Call of Duty right now. It reminds me of the UMP45 from the classic MW2 days. Just being able to run around the map and range people gives me versatility with this weapon to play the way that I want. And I like to play sneaky, and I like to play fast. I like to get behind enemy lines, and I like to get multi-kills. And I think this weapon platform is my play style, so I'll be using this more in the future. Now, when the update that goes through and actually adds your red dot to the mini-map when you fire, I think I'll go ahead and add the monolithic suppressor to my MP7. And I'll probably take off the optic to replace it with. One nice thing about this, it will actually add more range to your MP7, and it'll give you some suppression to your fire. Now, I don't know when they'll be adding this, but I'm thinking it's going to be late November or early December. And hopefully this speeds up Call of Duty and makes it less of a camp fest. So it seems like big things are planned for Call of Duty in the future. Mini maps are coming our way, and we're even looking at a battle royale in February or late January. So let me know any changes you would make to my setup in the comment section below, and what you guys are using on your MP7s. So if this video did indeed help you out set up your class for the MP7, go ahead and leave this video a like and subscribe to my channel down below for more Call of Duty videos coming up next on YourSixStudios.